It amazes me how naive some people are with the power we hold with these social media platforms, and how, though I've made a great observation of the level of corruption we've seen in this case against Robert Kelly and the hypocrisy surrounding all these people who were once around this man profiting so greatly, as other people continue to use his name and exploit his brand. Now, what's strange about that is I've come to find on this specific platform, which is YouTube, it's very interesting how greatly they monetize certain videos that are clearly slandering and assassinating this man's character, while all the people who know him were close to him and who even came out saying that he, unlike a lot of people in the industry, believed their story when they came out trying to be transparent about abuse they claim to have been through. What's also crazy is that a person like K. Michelle would have been a perfect candidate, considering she was there around the time frame when an individual such as Geronda Pace claimed to be around in '09. A lot of people don't want to put a timeline out here to match a lot of these allegations that they've heard about Robert Kelly. However, they have no problem coming out being vocal about other cases and other tragedies and other hashtags they hear about. Now, we all know the why to that, but it just blows my mind to look at all this crazy shit that goes on YouTube. Meanwhile, people are constantly taken aback by my position to not be intermingling with some of these janky ass people just because they personally don't like certain individuals I don't have a problem with. Which brings us to these frenemies, in which I said from day one, I don't know who's working against Robert Kelly, who's working for him, but I can tell you when things come out and look janky as fuck, and then we see all this mass manipulation, just as we see in this case with Miss Shaquella Robinson, it should be no surprise that we see these candidates, these influencers, falling in allegiance to the higher sources. The point that I wanted to make, number one, clearly, if you want to be the one to believe that all these people, even Quincy Jones included, all knew about certain behaviors with Robert Kelly and nobody had a problem with making money off him, you're going to have to excuse me when I have a problem with the way this whole case against him was specifically strategized and played out on these public platforms as people play private investigator. Now, it don't take a genius to see how and why this whole case against R. Kelly became a circus. It don't take a genius to see that people are deliberately trying to keep your focus off of all the bullshit that we witnessed being perpetuated on these platforms, only for people to sit here and continue to type. I wish the fuck their Wi-Fi just cut the fuck off. Goddamn. But the overall point in bringing this to your attention is that just like we see in this new upcoming case with Shaquella, there is a whole lot of frenemies that be on these platforms. They will get next to you for whatever reason and then make it their personal mission to go at you by any means necessary. But does it change the facts of anything that will come to be when it comes to following the truth? Now, people can speculate all day on who they believe is for or against R. Kelly, but does that change the fact that we watched how all of these allegations were brought to these platforms? People went out their way to put on these productions right in our face. We saw just how it was possible for these people to be doing janky ass shit in the background that has absolutely nothing to do with Robert Kelly that directly affects Robert Kelly, as all these people continue to scam and corroborate the case that prosecutors put before their court. So it's kind of crazy to watch all these people continue to act brand new as to how R&B King was convicted not once but twice when everybody sat back quiet watching all these janky ass people. Now, while some were gravitated to some of these people coming to YouTube, I was more interested in the professionals this man has been known to work with. Not no janky ass God siblings and none of this other bullshit these people want to come on here and give story times. But this is what happens when, again, people don't pay attention to the fact that, again, a lot of these people are the same people that think Robert Kelly needs help, believed all of the allegations that they heard about this man, stood in this man's face and didn't say a goddamn thing, but then want to go to another person and give source information. Make this shit make sense. And then you got all these fake ass advocates who want to jump on this Shaquella topic, for example, like they really give a shit, when at the end of the day, this is the prime example as to why you have to keep your circle tight. You have to know who's really there for you. And sometimes, unfortunately, it takes messed up situations for you to find out who really has your back. Just like R. Kelly can see now. A lot of these people will be mute, won't say shit. But then when everything comes back in his favor, then everybody gonna want to come around and act like they've been the writer. But at the end of the day, another point I wanted to hit with this Shaquella story is all the misinformation that these so-called professional journalists have put out there, and the fact that if it wasn't for a public outcry, would anybody be talking about this story? Even when there's no information to report, what do you see? People continuously trying to get your click and your view. So to put this into perspective, if you go back and listen to R. Kelly's music, even the I Admit, he's calling out some of these people that are supposed to be his friends. He's asking why aren't they taking up for him? But all of a sudden, all these people come to YouTube with these questionable statements. Then you see all these weirdos who are determined to make everything said true. And never mind the fact that the government still has to prove their case beyond shadow of a doubt. Nobody is going to acknowledge that they're bringing people on their platforms to corroborate what's being said. So with that being said, if you want to continue to wonder, inquire with others about who's for or against the man, why not just start doing your research? Find out more for yourself, and then maybe you can understand why people like me can adamantly stand with Robert Kelly instead of feeding into the media manipulation like we see here.
You all have done a wonderful job and have gotten it all over. I have people from Africa everywhere telling me about it.
A lot has changed since we first spoke with Shaquella Robinson. The search for answers in her daughter's death in San Jose del Cabo has changed from feeling ignored to feeling validated. But as information emerges, separating fact from fiction has proven difficult. Fake Instagram accounts have emerged pretending to be Robinson's friends who were with her on the trip, Shaquella herself, and even her mom, claiming things her real mom knows nothing about.
Oh, not me. I haven't put anything on Instagram in probably 5 weeks.
Not her. Oh, really?
Yeah, that's not my Instagram. I didn't share that.
Salamandra says she's still trying to piece things together. She knows the police report and death certificate give conflicting information about Robinson's cause of death, time of death, and the fact that she was with a doctor for 3 hours at the villa before she died.
Mexico, I just think they didn't care. They just didn't care. And they just wrote down what they told them. All of them had plotted this and my beliefs. And they just said that it was alcohol poison. And when the police came in to investigate, they could have looked at her and said it seemed that she had been jumped on.
Robinson expressed displeasure with the doctor, saying she didn't do enough to save her daughter and didn't recognize her injuries.
She had a knot on her head, lip was busted, eye was, even the guy said she had a bloodshot eye. The doctor didn't do their job either.
Robinson is now pleading with the public and those on the trip to share any remaining video and information that could help their family learn the full truth.
I want everything to come out because I want the truth, what happened to my child, and I want justice done. So I want all the videos to be released, everything out there.
Now, clearly, once people put the pressure on officials, people involved in this tried to get ahead of this story and start leaking information. The problem with that is now we see this over fluctuation of false information out there. You don't know what's true and what's not. Yet we're living in an age where people are so emotionally triggered. Is it wise to continue to fuel these opinionated stories that could put innocent people's lives at risk? Now, granted, a lot of people feel the way that these people in their mind plotted against this individual. But again, what do you want? Do you want the legal justice or do you want what people say is street justice? Which is it? A lot of people like to run around with this no snitching policy and then get on these platforms essentially tainting an open investigation. But this is where we at when people can Photoshop alleged evidence, when people can put narratives out there to form people's perception. And a lot of these people absorbing this won't take a second to go and check out this information. This is the problem that I have with the clickbait content creators and those who just want to chase the trends without doing their due diligence in researching the topic. Others would like to just avoid the topic altogether as though that will fix the problem, and there lies another problem within the quote-unquote Black community. Make this make sense. So when it comes to all the indiscrepancies that have been reported about Shaquella, even the fact that this is being labeled femicide, which may have given a lot of people the notion to run with this transgender narrative, considering if the woman who allegedly did this is a woman, how can it be femicide if this person is targeting an individual based on their sex? Makes no sense. And then when people hear that, produce an image such as this, it should be no surprise again why I say question everything you see.
Something good.